Well, hey, this is Darryl Davis coming here to talk about designing a career worth smiling about. This is part of a series that we recorded for real estate professionals dealing on how to navigate and deal with this class action commission lawsuit. These trainings are to help maybe simplify it, opinionate about it, but most importantly for you to help you navigate this situation. Now, in some cases, there'll be sales training. In some cases, it'll be just enlightenment as to what's happening with this. This particular video, what I want to talk about is a study that the plaintiff's attorney has referred to or is using, and how flawed the thinking is. As a matter of fact, this report, the person who wrote the report has become somewhat of a celebrity now. I see their name all over the place, being interviewed on every channel possible or publication. It's just fascinating. As a matter of fact, if you would like to Google this gentleman's name, you'll see exactly what I mean. Stephen Brobeck from the Consumer Federation of America. He wrote a report, compiled this report, October 2019. The title, Hidden Real Estate Commissions, Consumers' Costs and Improved Transparencies. Now, what I find is interesting right out the gate is that this report already has an opinion before I even turn the page. And the opinion is that real estate commissions are hidden. It's right there. As a matter of fact, hidden is the first word in the report. So right away, this tells me this is not a report based on science, based on fact. This is an opinion piece, disguised as some kind of valid research that was done. So I'll show you what I mean about valid and that it's invalid. So let me take you through this. So let me summarize the point that they make. And by the way, this is not my summary. What you'll see in most cases, I just screenshot, and it looks like maybe, but it was, these are the words from the report itself, okay? First is, it documents the reluctance of the industry, meaning the real estate industry, to provide information about commissions. Okay, so that's the wording in the summary. So what he's saying is his scientific research paper documents there's a reluctancy of the industry to provide information about commissions. I'm going to talk about these. I'm going to break them down later. But I just can't help myself right now to say, his actual report invalidates that. Actually, let me just hold off and show it to you. I can't wait to get into this. Number 2, provides new evidence of consumer lack of understanding of real estate commissions. So he's finding new evidence that consumers don't understand commissions. I don't know of any homeowner that signed a listing agreement where it says on the agreement what the commission is and when the agreement ends and how the commissions are being paid out to other agents. I don't understand that. I don't know anywhere in the industry where that's true. Explains how concealment of commission levels harms consumers. Well, I would agree. I would agree with that in any sales industry, if it concealed the commission levels, it's not being transparent and in some cases hurts the consumers. And there's industries that do that. They hide the commission amount that the person is getting paid. But not in our industry. You'd have to prove that. And in this document, he really doesn't. Let's go on. Proposes actions that would give consumers and third parties, such as journalists, greater access to information about commissions. Now, what I find I got to tell you honestly, when I read that jumped out at me. Of all the professions that he could have made a reference to, such as, why did he say journalists? Like, of all the ones, like, he said consumers and third parties, but journalists? When I read that, it kind of hit me like, oh, this is why it's an opinion piece, because he had a tough time getting some information and now he's upset and he wished people were more transparent with him. That's how I read that. But I could be wrong. Let me continue. This is his words in his report. He said, Our research included conversations with 200 agents and brokers nationwide. That nationwide sounds like it's a big report. 200 agents. From California, did he do Hawaii? California, Hawaii to Maine, Vermont, 200. 10 in each in 20 major urban areas that revealed other interesting information about commissions. Now I got to stop right there. I mean, follow me on this. So I don't recall the 20 major cities that he's referencing, but 10 in each. So follow me on this. So, for example, New York City, 10 agents there. San Francisco, 10 agents there. Houston, Texas, 10. Miami, 10. How many cities am I up to? Pittsburgh, 10. So without me going through all 20, I don't know if you would agree with me, but my thinking is 10 in a city. How does that give a good representation of the entire industry? I'm lost on this. By the way, those 10, are they full-time? Are they part-time? Do they work residential and rentals and commercial? How long they've been in real estate? You know, I'd be interested to know the breakdown of the 20, because that's different too. But when I said 10 out of 20, this is what I did, because again, I'm not a smart person. I'm not an economist. I don't know numbers of research, scientific, quantitative, whatever. Really, I don't. So I said, well, I'm curious. What's a good number to really do a survey? If I wanted to do a survey in the real estate industry, what would be a good sampling for me as a coach to coach people and use that results to help coach my students? So I researched it. First of all, let's put it in his perspective in case whoever's watching this doesn't know. This is, according to the National Association of Realtors, that was published on Axios. This is the membership since the 1980s, I believe. And so you'll see right now there's 1.5 million, as of April of 2023, there's 1.5 million realtors. You'll see a dip, because it's been 2023 has been a tough year, and you'll see that there's been dips all along. And boy, there was a big dip after the bubble busted, right, in 2007 and 2008. Look at how long. So, but in any event, that's not the point here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not showing you. Let me start that over. I didn't have my. I'm recording this live. You can tell this is not scripted, so I apologize. Let's take a look at this again. 2000. This is the number of realtors published at Axios. As I said, here's the chart, and you'll see 1.5 million realtors, and you remember the rest that I said earlier. It goes up and down, the bubble and all that. All right, now. So you've got 1.5 million realtors. So what would be a good sampling for a scientific study? So I searched the internet, and these are screenshots from what I got. A little help with AI, by the way. And as you can see, this hurt my head to read it. So I'm going to just go over some of it with you. If you want to conduct a survey to gauge the overall feeling of the 1.6 million realtors in the National Association of Realtors regarding their commission charges and flexibility and fees, you can use the formula for estimating a proportion in a large population, and there's the formula. I have no idea what that formula meant. So, I cheated, and I basically went to the end of what it said, and here's what it said. So surveying 480 realtors should give you a good representation, even considering non-responses. So here's what the AI and other research that I found is that to get a good sampling out of 1.6 million realtors, asking 10 people in 20 cities is maybe not the best. You want to have 480 at least to get a good sampling. So to use 200, to me, the whole survey is flawed. But wait, there's more that I want to share with you. So if I continue on with his report, so that was that part. Let's go to the first bullet. It says a large majority of agents interviewed, 70% say they charge 6% commission. Okay. So this guy who said that there's a reluctancy for the real estate industry to communicate its commission, somehow the very people that he's saying were reluctant to tell what their fees are seem to have told him. At least 70% of them told him. And then they said 6%. So I don't understand this report. I guess maybe those 70% were reluctant, meaning they really didn't want to, but they still did. And the reason why maybe they're reluctant is because what all good salespeople are trained in any sales industry is that before you talk about how much you charge, you first have to establish value of what you do. Because if you don't establish value in what you do and your abilities to serve the client, any amount that you say will sound too much, especially when people look at real estate agents as nothing as chauffeurs. See, the consumer doesn't understand what it takes to become a licensed agent, what it takes to keep your license, and the number of hours in training and how hard and complicated this business is, because we're really good at making it look easy. I'm going to say that again. We in this industry are really good at making it look easy on the front end. So for the consumer, it looks like what we do and what we charge is not like there's a mismatch there. It's like we overcharge or we charge too much. They don't realize what goes in behind the scenes, you see. A good salesperson makes it look easy, but depending on what state you're in, you got to go through hundreds of hours of training and continuous training to keep your license. It's a federal crime to get paid as a real estate salesperson without a license. So anyway, there's more to this that meets the eye. So yeah, a good salesperson will not just tell you off the bat, yes, here's what I charge. They first communicate, well, here's what I do. Let me explain that first. So you can see the value, and then I'll be happy to tell you what I charge. I don't see how this is breaking any crimes, being a good salesperson, being good at communicating. But he got it out of 70% of the people. In most areas, commission rates appear uniform or near uniform, and commission splits, the portion received by the buyer's agent, are even more uniform, as a number of agents explain. If their splits are below the typical rate for the area, buyer agents will have less incentive to show the property. So somehow he's making this sound bad. Somehow this is bad that the commission rates seem uniform or near uniform. So they're not uniform, some near uniform. So, okay. That doesn't suggest or prove from a legal standpoint that there's price fixing. It doesn't prove that. It proves that there's an average for that area. You know, when I saw that, I'm like, watch this. So I'm from Wading River. Wading River is less than 10. It's a small town on Long Island. It's less than 10 square feet. And even though we are 10 square miles, feet. Even though we're a small town, we still have 5. I'm only showing you 4. We have 5 pizzerias. There's too many pizzerias in Wading River. Too many. So I looked at these 4 pizzerias because the other one just is not. It doesn't taste good, but it couldn't fit on the screen, honestly. Anyway, so these 4 pizzerias, I looked at the prices, and what's interesting is the range for a pizza in Wading River is $19.95. That's the lowest one. $22.80. The average is about $21. So now here's my question. They seem pretty close in the amounts that they charge. And if I go along with the Steven study guy over here, that suggests that there's some kind of price fixing. Because the pizzerias, they're all in the same range or near what they charge the other. No, you know why? That's the pizzas run between $20 to $23. It's because in Wading River, and based on the competition, you would think that if these guys weren't making money, there wouldn't be 5 of them in 10 square miles. Obviously, they're all doing pretty good. But the fact that they have a range, and by the way, this is just pizzerias. I can do this with McDonald's. McDonald's is a franchise. Their franchise agreement says that the prices for the product of the individual McDonald's store is determined by the store owner, because the franchise couldn't possibly tell McDonald's, here's how you run your business and you got to charge this amount for you. No, it's decided by the store owner. But what's interesting, if you go to a McDonald's in Wading River, you go to one in Rocky Point, you go to another one in Miller Place, what's interesting is that the menus are the same. The menus are the same and the prices are the same. So yes, there's going to be an average, a range. Here's what else it says. A large majority of the interviewed agents, 73%, say they will not negotiate their commission, though some will offer a reduced rate if they themselves find a buyer for the property. And is this bad? Is this bad that an agent is willing to discount or reduce the rate if they do both sides of the transaction? I think that's pretty good. I think that serves the client. That's nice that they do that. Oh, 73% say they won't negotiate their fee. I know that the plaintiff's attorney is saying that that's part of the problem, is that we're fixed on our prices. I'm curious if the plaintiff's attorneys that are suing NAR and Anywhere and Remax and Home Service, I'm curious on those attorneys if they were asked, do they cut their fees? When they told their client that they're going to work on commission, we're going to go after NAR and we're going to charge you don't have to pay us hourly. I'm assuming that those homeowners are not paying millions of dollars to these law firms that are suing NAR. I'm assuming that because they're going after millions of dollars, that the attorneys graciously are taking a commission. I wonder how much their commission is. It 33%, 40%? All right. By the way, are they disclosing to the jury? Are they disclosing to the jury? This just came to me. How much the plaintiff's attorneys are getting paid with the commission that they're making on this lawsuit? Now, if they're not sharing with the jury what their commission is that being transparent? The very thing that this report is talking about over here? Wow. I'll bet you they're not, because I haven't seen anywhere to any journalist what the plaintiff's fees are, what they're getting paid. Fascinating. That's very interesting. We should make that a point before the jury goes in there. A number of firms, though still small minority, charge an administration listing fee of several $100s as well as commissions. Okay, fine. I put that in there. That doesn't mean anything. Specific commissions and mentions of commission not found on Realtor websites. Our research on 263 agents and brokers' websites revealed that only one traditional realtor disclosed any information about commission levels, and that it was 3 percentage point range. Okay. So, well, that's good. So, so they did a little bit more than the 200 conversations. So they researched 263 agent websites or broker websites, and they found only one that actually disclosed their commission levels. That's good. I'll help you on this. Steve, I forgot the guy's name already. Steve, who did the report. I'll help you with this. It's probably thousands. Thousands will not have their commission on their website. I know you're saying that that's bad, but let me show you some other professions who do not post their fees on their websites. Doctors, hospitals, lawyers. I gotta stop right there. The very people that are coming after our industry, the lawyers, the plaintiffs, go to their websites. Who are those firms? Go to the firm's websites and see if they publish what their hourly rates are and what their contingency fees are. So tell me if they're transparent. Financial advisors, wealth managers, insurance brokers, accountants, travel agents, art galleries, travel agents again. Talent agents, sorry. Couldn't see that. Talent agents, managers, wholesale distributors, recruitment agencies, auction houses, mortgage brokers. You won't find any of their fees on their websites. And that's just some of the industries. But there's more. So I'm wondering, did he get paid? The guy that did this report, did he get paid, and who paid him? And my question is his fees on his site? Now, there is something else, and I may not cover this later, but he said that the agents that consumers are not aware of fees that are charged. And you know what? I kind of get that. I could understand that homeowners or buyers would not know what fees are. Not buyers, just civilians. See, I don't know. Let's see. I have no idea what it cost to replace a muffler on a car. First of all, should a mechanic publish that? So I have no idea what a muffler. And you want to know something? I don't care. I'm not interested. I'm not in the market right now for a muffler. I got no problems. As a matter of fact, I have an electric car. I don't even have a muffler. But I'll tell you this, if I had a muffler and all of a sudden it started to not work and I had an interest of fixing my car and fixing my muffler, guess what? Me personally, Darryl Davis, because it's the type of person I am, I would become like a semi-mechanic. I would understand and know how much mufflers cost, what the wholesale price is, the market price, and what the labor would be for the mechanic to fix it. So that way when I go to the mechanic, I'd understand it. And I think most people, now I'd be a little over the top, but I'll tell you this, any civilian who's going to have their muffler replaced, they may not have known it until it becomes something important in their life. Then they may talk to 2 or 3 mechanics, get 2 to 3 different prices, and they'd understand here's a range of what it costs to fix a muffler. Just like a homeowner who lives in a home, has no idea and understanding maybe about the real estate industry, what it takes from MLS and fees. But the moment they decide that, you know what, I'm going to sell my house, and they talk to several other agents, some on MLS, some not, some discount broker, they're going to have a good understanding of fees. The same thing with on the buyer side. Okay, what's this here? I'm doing this with you. Home buyers are not aware of their agent's commission splits, are vulnerable, being steered away from properties that carry. Okay. Yeah, this was the steering thing. So, all right, let me show you. Steering was not carefully documented. Research on over 650,000 residential listings in eastern Massachusetts from 1998 to 2011 revealed that those properties with lower buyer side rates, lower fees to the buyer's agents are 5% less likely to sell and take 12% longer to sell. Okay, so let me just use my own words, and I do have a summary of the slide. So what he's saying, based on this research in one state that dates back 2011, come on, that's a little, what year is this now? But whatever. Again, this is not a good report. I don't know who this guy is. I'm sorry. He may be very smart and has other accolades to his life. I didn't look it up. I'm just looking at this Consumer Federation of America report that's supposed to mean something, and it's so many holes in it. It's if this was a high school term paper, I would not grade this very good using 2011 study in one state. But let's go with that. Let's say that here in 2023, that in all states, in the whole nation of 1.6 million realtors, that when the commission paid out to a selling broker is less than the average, like average pizzas, average muffler charges in an area, average McDonald's hamburgers, that if it's less than the average, that those properties actually took longer to sell. Yeah, because that's the whole point of paying fees out that are not locked in, that when a listing agent is paying out to a selling agent, they use the fee as an incentive. So if they have a property that they wanted to spotlight and motivate agents, it makes sense that you're going to pay out a little bit more than the average, because all of those agents are not paid a paycheck. All agents have to feed their family, and they have to make decisions based on what's available to them for their livelihood. But it doesn't mean that a selling agent is not going to show a buyer a particular house that has less fee paid to them, because that would be a problem. that would be an ethical problem. It would be against the code of ethics. It would probably against the law, I would assume. And it would just be a nasty thing to do to consumer. I don't know of any agent that would show, here's the buyer, here's some houses for sale, and make believe you didn't see that one. Especially in the day and age of the internet, buyers know every house. But what happens is when there's one that's a little, there's more attention, there's a little bit more excitement, there's an internal incentive to maybe call people, you got to come out and see this one house. I got some others, but let's go and see this one, right? Maybe. So let me show you my notes on this. This shows why it benefits sellers to pay selling side commissions. So to me, this report, and that if it says that homeowners who pay lower side, buyer side commissions, the property will sit a little longer. The opposite is also true. When the homeowner pays a higher amount to the selling agent, they get more activity. It sells higher, it sells quicker. When the buyer is a customer, there's not a legal obligation. There's a moral obligation, an ethical obligation, but not a legal one to show lower commissions to a buyer. But of course we do. So what I'm saying there is when a buyer hires an agent, that agent is their listing agent, that agent has a fiduciary responsibility to that buyer to put their interest even ahead of their own. So that's a different relationship. But when the buyer is a customer, there's a natural, that makes natural sense that, okay, if there's that higher commission, there's just more enthusiasm. But once again, they don't not show it to the buyer. So it's not that we don't show lower commissions higher, we get more activity quicker, which drives the price. Okay, now that's it on this study. There's more to this study. I'll send a link. We should have the link somewhere for this bad study that shouldn't even be called a study. I'm sorry that I'm saying that, but it's really offensive to, once again, the very first line says hidden fees. This gentleman obviously had a very poor opinion, and he found a lot of evidence to validate his opinion, but even the evidence was not a really scientific number that would give a good representation of 10 people, 10 agents in 20 cities. Come on. And nowhere in the report says the background of the agents, how long they've been in the business, how many houses that they sold, what their average income is, are they part-time, full-time? I mean, if you're going to do it right. And then do a real report that's not an opinion, which actually proved the opposite of what you were trying to prove. So, all right, anyway, I hope this helped shed some light on the craziness that's happening out there. Please stay safe, stay focused. Don't forget to keep smiling. And as a real estate professional, remember you are essential. You make a difference. All right, thank you.